In 2004, Metal Gear Solid 3 achieved the impossible, rendering a living jungle on that aging PS2 hardware. And the technical breakdown is staggering. It included a new collision detection system for uneven terrain, dynamic weather systems, and even AI predators that tracked your scent. But here's the wildest fact. The team tested these systems by studying real jungles in Japan and Canada. Their field research created stealth gameplay so advanced, modern games are still borrowing from Snake Eater's design philosophy till this day. And that's why it was easy for Konami to greenlight a remake in 2023 for modern hardware. A remake that I recently got some hands-on time with at an exclusive event hosted in NYC. It sported improved visuals, controls, audio, camera, combat, and more. And the best part is that the game ran like butter thanks to our sponsor Alienware and their brand new Area 51 laptop powered by Intel CPUs. Now I would love to tell you more about my experience with Metal Gear Solid Delta, and I will, so stick to the end of the video because I vlogged it all. Before I do, I think it's important for us first to explain to those unaware why a game like Snake Eater deserved a remake for this modern era. The heart and soul of Snake Eater isn't just its main character, Snake, the campy politics, or the combat, but it's also the level design. See, early on, the head of Konami's dev team at the time knew he wanted a dense, interactive jungle for Snake Eater. The problem is that the PS2 only had 32 megabytes of RAM total, and because of that, the dev team ran into technical issues. I think I read somewhere that the early builds of Snake Eater had the PS2 screaming.
So we don't have the capacity.
Now that was just a joke. But what isn't is the fact that when they loaded in just the terrain, memory was tight and the outdoor terrain created severe performance and memory challenges. The programming team wasn't sure what could be done, but once the team locked in, there was no shaking their resolve. The breakthrough happened when part of the team took a research trip through Japan's ancient forest. They noticed something interesting. It was that real jungles create the illusion of density through layers. You got foreground foliage that's detailed, mid-range bushes that are simpler, and background trees that barely register as shapes. That observation became their cheat code. That's where they got the idea to design the jungles and plains with detailed assets up close and distant textures that trick the eye. The PS2's limited draw distance actually helped sell this effect, and the fog naturally obscured the low details back layers. But that wasn't their only issue. Terrain became another nightmare. PS2 games traditionally used flat surfaces because collision detection couldn't handle slope. So the Snake Eater team created a new engine just for that uneven ground. And that new engine went on to support Metal Gear Solid 3's expanded crawling and prone stealth mechanics. This innovation had a ripple effect. Now enemies needed pathfinding for 3D spaces, which then also made them smarter. And because of this need, military advisors were brought on board to show the dev team how soldiers actually track targets through sound displacement and disturbed vegetation. Ultimately, this led to a more authentic experience, but for me personally, if I was on the dev team at the time, I think I'd be afraid if I messed up in front of the military, because then you'd probably have to hear this.
So, from now on, whenever Private Pyle fucks up, I will not punish him. I will punish all of you!
Now, some speculate the stamina bar wasn't just for realism. It forced tactical, aka slower pacing, so the hardware could keep up with the player's actions, but that's a claim I've seen only on Reddit. I couldn't find any credible evidence on that, so take that with a huge grain of salt. What I do know is that what started as technical compromises became some of the game's defining traits. I can see Snake Eater's influences on titles such as The Last of Us and its crafting system, while Far Cry's animal AI traces remind me of those jungle predators that could smell your wounds. But if you thought the jungle aspect was the only thing that gave the dev team trouble, you'd be wrong. The memory limitations forced smarter tricks, constraint-shaped presentation, but not as secret loading screens as you might think. The Konami team used cinematic pauses, radio, and set-piece staging to pace the story and give the PS2 reasonable workloads, yet the intent was foremost the narrative and the mood. Use the motorcycle chase scene as an example and other big sequences. They all run in real time, demonstrating that the team optimized for the PS2 rather than falling back to just pre-rendered tricks. The real magic is how these limitations shape the design philosophy. The PS2's constraints push the dev team towards artful optimization. I'm talking smart texturing, atmospheric effects, and carefully budgeted environments. No radar meant that the players had to interpret the enemy footsteps instead of just staring at a radar like any other game. The limited polygons forced artists to imply detail through textures and lighting. It was this delicate balance that I believe Konami knocked out of the park. Funny enough, many gamers believe the iconic ladder in Snake Eater is just a loading screen trick to circumvent the limitations of the PS2, but from my research, I don't believe that's true. The ladder scene was just an artistic choice that turns a simple climb into a moment of reflection. It married the duration and the music to the theme, so for some, it does read like a loading screen that becomes art, but that's really just a metaphor, not a technical origin story supported by the dev team. What I will say is that every technical hurdle became a lesson in doing more with less. And here we are 20 years later, and other devs are still studying these breakthroughs when optimizing their own game. Those PS2 limitations didn't just shape Snake Eater, they prove creativity often thrives when it's pushed against walls. A lot of modern stealth games still use tricks that were invented during the development of Snake Eater. The way light affects detection systems, how sound propagates through environments, even the psychology of making players feel vulnerable. That jungle became a character instead of just a backdrop. None of it would exist if the dev team just accepted the PS2's hardware limitations instead of getting creative. Now, the jungle backdrop was cool, but the Cobra unit was even cooler. Now, for those who never played the game, the Cobra unit was a group of elite soldiers that you took on throughout your adventure. And the thing about it is that these boss fights in Snake Eater weren't designed to test your reflexes, but instead, they were programmed to mess with your head. The Konami team was tasked by leadership to create boss fights where you'd remember how you felt and not just the buttons you pressed. This philosophy led to some risky decisions, like the end sniper duel that could literally last days if you weren't careful. The team was worried that players would rage quit fighting this old man, but ultimately I believe the game is better for this because of its creativity. It instead rewards players for thinking outside the box, and that creates lasting memories. I was first put onto this game because of its quirky mechanics. I don't recall if it was an old G4 show, IGN, or GameSpot, but I do recall seeing on a TV show where they revealed you could set your PS2 clock forward in time and you could beat the boss without ever actually fighting them. I thought that shit was so cool, and honestly, it was free promo for Konami. You have to understand, each Cobra member became a walking psychology experiment. The fear wasn't just an invisible guy. His erratic movement triggered genuine panic as you spun the camera wildly searching for any glimpse of him. The Sorrow's River sequence forced you to confront every enemy that you killed, weaponizing guilt in a way games rarely attempt to. Then there's the boss's final fight, where after hours of character development, you suddenly realize you don't really want to pull the trigger. The white flower staining red wasn't just symbolism, it made players physically hesitate. The developers hid storytelling in the battles themselves. The Fury's erratic flamethrower patterns mirrored his cosmonaut trauma. The Pain's literal swarm of bees referenced his backstory about being an abandoned war orphan. Even the End had tells with his breathing sounding different when he was near death, and expert players noticed his parrot would sometimes give away his position. These weren't just Easter eggs, they rewarded the player who was more invested than the average. This approach to boss design revolutionized things. When Dark Souls makes you question whether you're the real villain or Undertale plays with your morality, they're walking past Snake Eater paved. Modern games now regularly hide lore and combat animations or make victory feel bittersweet. But in 2004, this was radical. The genius wasn't just in the difficulty of the game, it was making you care about why you were fighting and not just whether you'd win. And the crazy part is that many players didn't even notice they were being psychologically manipulated at the time. And that's because Konami made the Cobra unit feel like cool villains first and emotional experiments second. That subtlety is why these fights stand the test of time. They work purely as gameplay, yeah, but they hit differently when you realize what they were really doing. Konami proved that boss battles could weaponize nostalgia, regret, and empathy years before anybody was screaming.
Emotional, damn it!
Now, often we think fondly of the boss fights and most other aspects of the gameplay when thinking back on Metal Gear Solid 3, but believe it or not, when playtesters first got their hands on Snake Eater's survival mechanics, the feedback was brutal. People complained they were spending too much time hunting frogs and treating wounds than actually doing cool spy stuff. I mean, right after the full release of the game, in some forums, you could find people calling it Metal Gear Solid Hunting Simulator. And because of that, the dev team had debates during the playtesting days about whether patching your own bullet wounds mid-mission was just too ridiculous, even for a series known for having psychic villains and vampire snipers. But here's the thing, those survival mechanics weren't just tacked on for realism, they became the backbone of Snake Eater's tension in ways most stealth games still haven't matched today. The stamina system changed everything. Suddenly you couldn't just sprint everywhere like other action games. You had to monitor your energy levels, hunt for food, and actually learn the jungle's ecosystem. Different animals gave different stamina boosts, so players started memorizing spawn locations like they were Kraven the Hunter. But not the Sony one. Anyways, the camouflage system wasn't just cosmetic. Each outfit had a dozen terrain-specific specific camo indexes that directly affected enemy AI detection ranges. Wear the wrong pattern in the wrong area, and guards would spot you from twice as far away. This forced players to actually observe environments, and not just for cover spots, but for textures, lighting, and even weather changes that impacted visibility. And the wild part is how these systems created organic stories players still talk about to this day. Like when someone ran out of med kits and had to literally sneak past guards while they were bleeding out. Or think about that time you were starving and you had to risk gunfire just to catch a crocodile so you could eat. Modern games like The Last of Us took notes from Snake Eater. I mean, what do you think Ellie handing you a health kit during combat is? That tension comes straight from Snake Eater's inventory management. Even Battle Royale games borrowed some of the sauce. PUBG's gear durability and DayZ's survival mechanics feel like spiritual descendants. But the real breakthrough is how these restrictions shaped player behavior. Without a radar, you had to listen for enemy footsteps and dog alerts. Without infinite stamina, you planned routes carefully. The game didn't just encourage patience, it demanded it. That's why Snake Eater's stealth feels so different from the later entries. It's not just about hiding, it's about surviving. And here we are, 20 years later, and you could still see its DNA in any game that makes you check your ammo count twice before pulling the trigger. So I think it's funny how these mechanics that a lot of people doubted became the ones that aged the best. Now, most game soundtracks serve as just a backdrop. It sets the mood, but rarely is a game's OST the star. Snake Eater's music worked differently. It grabbed you by the collar, and it made you feel things whether you wanted to or not. The team knew they were breaking the rules when they created that Bond-style theme song. I mean, a military stealth game with a full orchestra vocal track? Some critics called it ridiculous, but Konami understood something that they didn't. Music could be another weapon in Snake's arsenal. The game's main composer approached the score as if it was a psychological warfare. The music served as narrative tension, stealth pacing, and a psychological mood. I mean, that Metal Gear Alert theme didn't just signal danger, its harsher tones triggered an actual fight or flight response from the player, meaning everything was calculated. I mean, the game frequently drops or ducks jungle ambience when you're detected, and it foregrounds footsteps, radio chatter, and Snake's breathing sounds. That contrast heightens perceived danger, and it makes mistakes feel more costly to the player. Then there's the ending. After hours of tense stealth and brutal fights, Way to Fall kicks in during the credits with this gloominess that makes you question every choice that you made. That contrast is brutal. One minute you're pulling the trigger in the final boss fight, the next you're sitting there just staring at your screen while this acoustic masterpiece plays. Modern games, they try to copy this emotional whiplash. I don't know if they do it as good. Some examples would be Portal's Still Alive or Ellie's guitar in The Last of Us. Okay, now that last example wasn't the best, but that's not the point. The point is, the real genius is how the music shaped the moments without you even realizing. The iconic ladder climb works well because of how the music swells at just the right time for the player. That sorrow fight feels unfair at first until you notice the sad tones hidden under the combat are hinting at what's really happening. Hell, even portions of the title screen change to reflect the story's growing seriousness, which adds to Snake's emotional journey. Most games just treat audio as like it's a decoration, but Konami treated it like it was another character in the story. Nowadays, the influence is everywhere. Look at the way God of War 2018 mirrors Kratos' emotional journey using music. That's the same DNA as Snake Eater. The industry spent years catching up to this idea that the game's music shouldn't just sound good, but it should also make you feel something whether you notice it or not. And it turns out that that Bond-style theme wasn't out of place at all. It was actually forward-thinking. When Snake Eater dropped in 2004, most critics gave it glowing reviews, and because of it, it's easy to see how it could still influence the industry 20 years later. Take The Last of Us as an example. Both games use quiet, in-between moments to build attachment. Both culminate in morally complex choices that reframe the journey, and in that sense, you can see a spiritual kinship between Joel and Ellie's arc and Snake and the boss's tragedy. The Horizon series is another example. It and Snake Eater have a lot in common when it comes to stealth. There's enemies that can read your movements, alerts that spread across a living group, and tools that turn observation into power. Both Aloy's focus and Snake's survival mechanics have you learn about the ecology before you pull the trigger. Now, I'm not saying Horizon is 100% influenced by Snake Eater, but you can definitely see some of its DNA in the game. I believe Snake Eater showed that a lack of resources and being vulnerable can make a big budget action game even more tense. I mean, you take away the radar, and relying on survival systems like stamina, food, and injury treatment made reading the world a more important ability. And here we are, 20 years later, and you can still see these same ideas ideas being utilized everywhere. Snake Eater didn't just overcome limitations, it weaponized them. Every technical hurdle forced solutions that reshaped gaming forever. And because of that, Snake Eater has sold over 6 million copies to date, and it's inspired generations. It also inspired that remake called Metal Gear Solid Delta. First revealed in 2023, it will feature improved visuals, audio, controls, and major quality of life fixes such as streamlined systems. And guess what? Konami was nice enough to invite me out early to test the game. Plus, I played some stealth tag with some other content creators. We had a great time, and guess what? I vlogged it all. And this might have been the easiest vlogging experience that I've had due to having such a powerful workstation on the go. Working in gaming mobile was made a breeze thanks to today's sponsor, Alienware, and their brand new Area 51 laptop powered by Intel CPUs. With the power of Intel's Core i9, a 5090, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and that gorgeous 240 hertz refresh rate monitor, not only was I able to script this video during my downtime on my trip, but I also got some gaming in at the hotel. See, currently I'm trying to get access to the Lies of P DLC, but the problem is that I already beat the base game like a year ago. So when I went to reboot the game, it put me in New Game Plus, and now I got speed run to Chapter 5 just to get access to Overture. That did upset me, but thank God Alienware's Area 51 laptop has all the bells and whistles. Thanks to the power of Intel's Core i9 and more, I didn't drop a single frame during my time on the game. I also really love the sleeker design of this laptop model, so you're not traveling with as much bulk on the plane. I encourage everyone, and I mean everyone, to check out what Alienware and Intel have been cooking up because they've really been stepping up their game. So do me a favor, check out Alienware's new Area 51 laptops powered by Intel CPUs. There will be a link in the description box below. And with that out the way, now enjoy the vlog.
And just like that, your boy the Black Okage, aka TBH, made it out here to beautiful New York. And if you don't believe me, take a look outside of my hotel at this wonderful view, this big ass brick wall, because in New York they pay $5,000 a month to live in a shoebox. Now that I'm done now that I'm done slandering the city of New York, just got dressed, I'm getting ready to go out to the Konami Alienware Metal Gear Solid event. I'm excited to see what we can get into. So we should have a good time. Come rock with me, let's get it. Alright, I had to put the address into where we was going. We going right down the street. It's like 2 blocks up the street. Busy as hell, per usual. Weather said it was gonna be cloudy, but it's not bad out here. It's not bad out here. I got the mic clipped to my hat. Let me know how it sounds. Let me know if I should keep this set up. I think I see where we're supposed to be. I think that's the Metal Gear symbol up ahead. I don't know how far my camera can see, but when we get closer, we'll see. At this point, we are just waiting outside to get in, right outside the event. But it should be a lot of fun. Got me standing out here next to the trash, because, you know, it's just another day in New York with the rats, with the massive Splinter type shit. And this is where all the magic is gonna happen. They put the creators like in a little shoebox in the corner. There's a bigger room for like the press, but I'm not here as press today. I told them I'm a Splinter Cell guy. But no, I hope the game is good though. All right. We can get on the game? Is that who I think it is? My guy. Oh, what's up, boy? I gotta get you on camera. This is a small look. We got a big Phantom in the building, bro. How you been, brother?
Yo, what's the vibe? What we doing? Ain't a lot of lore is wavy. I ain't gonna cap. But you got farther than me though in the story. I was watching you, game.
Well, that's given.
Cause you was demon. You a demon, bro. You a demon.
What was your favorite part about the gameplay?
The curing shit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm jagging that. I get hurt a lot, so I need to cure a lot, bro. No bullshit.
You was Phantom taxing all the rabbits and the alligator, basically. You was eating everything you wanted.
I was getting a lot of rations. I ain't gonna get. I shot a toad. Got a toad ration. What you ate?
I ate most of the alligator because, like, you know, you had to cross that little pond or whatever.
Yeah.
Like 10 of them. I shot them all.
I shot them too, but I ain't grabbed nothing. I was scared of them game. I ain't gonna catch.
Everything about it I think is amazing, but I really do think the visuals are what make it stand out. Like, I didn't really know how close they were gonna stick to the original PS2 version, like with the animations and some of the iconic moments, but it's like literally 1-to-1. Like, they cleaned it up where they needed to clean it up, but the moments where you still have like the fear flying off of the, you know, the trees with like the poison darts going everywhere. Some of the other boss fights, like, it's just been an absolute blast so far. And I actually really do like the new camera mode too, because I feel like I've been used to playing this game however many times. Like, I've probably beaten this like 4 or 5 times or something before in the old version. But the new version with the new camera makes some of those boss fights like way easier. So it's been awesome. Yeah,
it's really fun. It was pretty much the exact same thing. All the voices are the same, but the audio is a lot better. The visuals are better. So if you like the third game, you're gonna love this. And if you haven't played it, this is a great place to start. So.
And just like that, that's the end of day one. We just got done playing the game. Met a lot of cool people. Game was awesome. We got one more day. We're gonna be shooting some more content with Konami. We're gonna be playing dress up, playing some hide and seek with other creators. So I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow. Boom, we are out here, day 2 for the Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Remaster event. Today we are playing some hide and seek in Central Park. I don't know how this is gonna work, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, I think so. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win because I'm the prettiest one here. No, that's no cap. I got haters.
Just lying now? Just lying?
I gotta get a shot of my man right here. The fit is crazy. Big snake. Man, this is really in character. The energy in the air at this Metal Gear Solid event is electric. They're opening it up to the public today, and I thought this was really dope. It's a lot of people coming through. Check this out. It is mad people down there frolicking in the flowers. Bunch of people coming through. I believe they're doing a pop-up shop where you can come and pick up like different items and stuff. And I would tell y'all to come through, but by the time y'all see this, it'll be over. So, yo, bad, should've known. Look at this guy, Connor. I'm trying to be like Connor one day, man. A true inspiration. We were supposed to be taking a shuttle out there to the event for the hide and seek, but you know, this NYC traffic is no joke, so we now hopping in the Uber because, you know, we being adaptive and we finna pull up and we still gonna put on a good show. And once again, I'm gonna win. Also, I'm learning Connor is fluent in Japanese. That he just sprung that on me right here. We made it to Central Park. Apparently they cut it off for us. We about to go crazy, sneak around in the box. I see a lot of people down there. I don't think that has anything to do with us. Is that awesome? It is a beautiful day in the park. See beautiful people out here too. One thing I love to see while we go to this event in the park is just beautiful black people living their life, being beautiful, being black, doing their thing. I know this has nothing to do with the video, but I just like to see that. Not being bothered, just living their life. I might use the shoebox, the box we about to sneak around in from Metal Gear, sneak into this event with these beautiful black people right here. Look at this. I love it. Black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. They say we gonna be playing hide and seek on this hill right here. About to be a full-blown workout, which means I don't gotta hit the gym today because we're gonna be working out here. So they're going deep into the forest, trying to figure out where we're exactly gonna be. And apparently they're gonna have us in the middle of the forest, battling bugs, just like the actual game. I think I might eat an actual frog or something, poisonous frog. That's my man right there. He worked for Alienware. He cool. Currently just getting a tour of what exactly we're gonna be doing and where we're gonna be running to. I should be paying attention, but I also gotta let the world know what's going on, and also let the world know how the Prince of DC is being treated. You know, I know I live in LA, but I'm still gonna be the Prince of the city. I'm still gonna hold it down. God damn, it's kind of dark in here. What the hell? This is some Silent Hill shit. Shout out to the camera team. These are the hardworking people right here to make things possible. They won't be making me look good because that's my mother and my father's fault. They just gave the rundown of how I'm gonna win this whole contest. Everybody else is just kind of participating. At this point, we waiting on our ham and cheese and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They feeding us. And also we waiting on Phantom. I think he pulling up in a limo or something like that. I don't know. He's not with the crew. They're setting up shop over here. Get actual boxes like Metal Gear in here. It's a lot of boxing of wood. One thing I'll say about this trip is I've definitely hit my quota for being in the middle of the fucking forest. This is the last time I'm doing it in 2025. Roger, tell us what you are gonna do.
I'm gonna win. I've heard you talking shit as you were recording this entire time, saying we're all just here as set dressing, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna beat you. So
Cap.
What face is that?
Cap.
What face?
Cap. This production is no joke. Alienware, Konami, shout out to them. They spending money, man. Got the whole crew. I'm trying to be like these people one day. Shout out to the crew. Shout out to Snake. Big Roger talking to the game devs. Nice to meet you.
I only understand Japanese. I can introduce myself.
This is so cool actually meeting the devs, man. Talented people. Look who's here. 2 hours late. Look, he's finally here, y'all.
I was here in the morning.
The superstar. I'm just fucking with you. Let me get a fit check right here. That's the Metal Gear jacket. Phantom fit. He looked like he ready to change my oil. Let's go. Tight shit. Something slight. All right, buddy. Not here. My favorite thing about your camera is you got your name on your camera, dog. You don't know that's your camera?
I was confused which one it was. Oh, they brought you an extra joint? Is it gonna be both of y'all in one suit, or is it gonna have y'all? Oh, not too much. Okay. This is the part of the show where we're gonna plan like we're actually gonna do something. I'm just gonna show up and do whatever. These guys are plotting. I'm just gonna show up and do whatever. I'm gonna do parkour. That's what I'm gonna do. This man is super locked in.
You'll have 5 minutes, start to finish. We'll make sure you know.
I'm the first hunter.
Okay.
Number one. Just got the gear. We're gonna suit up into the ghillie suit. Stay here for a moment, and we're gonna see how this turns out. I'm gonna even put a little face paint on. Let's get it.
Corey, so how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Matter of fact, I'm feeling better than great.
You're in the biggest city in the world in a massive park, and you have to escape from Solid Snake. What's your strategy?
3 words. Say it with me, guys. Lion's Gate Portal. If you don't know what that is, August 8th, the luckiest day of the year, which also happens to be my birthday. It's something that people worship when they don't have anything going on in their life, so they look to the stars. And right now I'm gonna do that because I don't really know what I'm doing in the forest. I'm from the city, I'm from DC, so I'm just gonna look to the stars, my birthday, for good luck.
I think luck is important. I want you to remember, because I'm sort of an expert in stealth, the key to stealth is to stay quiet, stay hidden, and don't get found.
Okay. I think I could do 2 of those things. Could you repeat that again?
Stay quiet, stay stealthy, and don't get found.
I got it. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that.
You
Be
follow
loud, be
those
loud, be
rules.
loud. And now we are officially done with the Metal Gear Solid Alienware collaboration. Playing a little hide and seek. It was a lot of fun. I'm sweaty. I'm ready to lay down, eat this fat ass burger, and pass out till I get on this flight. But overall, I had a good time. Y'all boys had a good time?
Hell yeah.
And Phantom had a good time too. Phantom is a superstar. Before I started recording and got on this bus, someone asked to stop and take a picture, and I took the picture, bro. That shit is great. Shout out to the superstar of the group. And just like that, we are back at the hotel, ready to go. Because it's been a long day running up and down hills in Central Park shooting some amazing content. Before I knock out, I wanted to say a special shout out to Alienware and their brand new Area 51 laptop powered by Intel CPUs. Plus it's got a 5090 in it, so it made traveling a breeze because I was able to get some gaming on the go in between shoots. And believe it or not, with the 240 hertz refresh rate on the monitor, I was getting a better experience on the go than I do have at home because don't judge me, but my monitors at home are still 60 hertz. I know. I'm poor. That's why I took this brand deal because listen, I live in LA. You're always one paycheck away from being on the streets. So shout out to Alienware. And also shout out to Konami because you guys gave me early access to Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which is a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. And if you are a fan of the original game, I gotta say, I think you're really gonna like this game because I think it strikes that nice balance between trying to appease a newer fan base with nice quality of life changes, but also maintaining kind of the foundation of the original game. I think our OG fans are gonna love it too. The visuals, the gameplay, the quality of life changes. It's awesome. And if you want to hear more of my in-depth thoughts on Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, click the title screen or the card that should be on the screen. If not, there will be a link in the description box below. I don't know. All I know is that I'm poor. Thanks to Alienware, thanks to Intel, thanks to Konami, but I'm going to bed because I gotta go home. My dog misses me. I'm freaking poor, man.